Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about locks. I acquired a lock not long ago, a couple of days ago, which is one of these ASA, or I don't know how to pronounce it. We just call it ASA. So yeah, got one of these guys. These were pretty heavy duty, so I really wanted to be able to kind of restore it, because the person that had the lock had, for some reason, removed the core. And when you remove the core, you have these little pins that are inside the they're inside the core, and they're also inside the flutes over here, and they are spring tensioned. So got these little springs in here with everything in there. There's a lot of tension here. When they removed the core, everything popped out, kind of like so. So yeah, pins everywhere, springs lost. This thing, I mean, this is expensive. This is an inexpensive lock, so you know, must have been pretty frustrating. But still, they were gonna throw it away, so I decided to, grab it, see if I could repair it by disassembling a 7-pin ASA lock and just replace the inside parts. It should work. All I need is I need to catch all the springs, put the pins themselves in the right order, lay it all down, and assemble it into this one, and I should have a working lock that is fairly expensive and a good lock. So yeah, I actually have 2 of them, but this one here is locked and the key is missing. So yeah, I mean, from what I see with lock pickers on YouTube, experienced lock pickers are having, I don't know, 10 to 15 minutes with each one of these guys. So yeah, I don't think my skill level is at that yet, but hopefully one day I'll be able to open it and replace the core. So would have 2 of these. But yeah, let's get to it. Let's break down the other lock and put all the good stuff in here. Okay, so this thing here is actually held together with a little C-clamp here, which I just had to bend to get it out of there. This thing here is sitting on top, comes right off. So now the core is free. But just like the other one, it is spring loaded, because it has all these nice little springs here that you wanna keep so you can use them again. Now, I've already taken one apart just to see how everything works in there. The reason that I'm not going to use that one, the core from that one, is because it only has 1 key, where this one has 2 keys. So I think 2 keys is better than 1, since one of them can get lost. So it's better to have 2 keys. Okay, so by gently pushing the core down, one of the pins comes out, and it is a normal tube pin. And out comes the spring. Sometimes you have to have pliers, because these springs are pretty long. It's good to have pliers to kind of pull them out. Here comes pin number 2, which is a standard pin. And Pin number 3, another standard. Number 4, standard again. This lock is not as exciting as the one that I took apart earlier, because that one had serrated pins in there. Bunch of different serrated pins. Very high security. So maybe we'll just use the other one, because this one is for lock. This and this caliber, I think that having serrated pins and security pins is probably better. Right, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's one more in there. And it is also a standard. Now I gotta be careful not to, invert this thing, because all the pretty pins will fall out and I will not have a good day. Not that the bitting on this key is, it's fairly boring. Doesn't look like it has much of security features in it, like you can see. To look at the other one in comparison, you have these pins right here. And as you can see, these pins here, they're serrated, so when you're trying to pick them, these little edges here, they get binded up in the core, so you think that you have it picked, but it really isn't, and everything binds up and gets really hard to open. So tough choice. 2 keys and low security, or 1 key and high security. I can always make I can always get like a second key made, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. High security, 1 key. And to look at the corresponding element inside the keyway, let's see. This is the stuff that is inside the tube itself. Where you stick the key in, and these are also serrated. So you're gonna get an extra level of protection there as well, because those have kind of like now, this guy here is, see if we can't get a focus on this thing here. See, if somebody was trying to pick it now, it is bound on the edges here, so you can't push it up and it won't fall down again, because in this situation you would have been trying to turn the core to open the lock. It's bound, but you think it's picked, but it's really not. It's just seized up, and either you have to go a little less tension and try to bump it a little bit higher or lower to get it down again in this case. So usually that ends up you dropping all the other pins, and it's just like advanced lock pickers say that these locks they're a pain to pick. So yeah, let's go ahead and assemble this back in the correct order. so that the key actually works. And also the core itself is it's threaded. It has like a little groove that's threaded in there to help the pins bind when somebody's not using the correct key. So lots of security features, where this one has no security features, I think. I mean, let's look at the core here real quick. Standard. Look at these three. Yeah, standard. The other four are probably standard as well. So we're not going to waste time with the standard lock for now. I think, I don't know, this keyway just a lot more interesting and a lot higher security. So in this case I have to remove the old core, which doesn't have anything in there because all the old pins are in here, and those pins are actually not serrated at all. So this is going to get a much better lock in there. So yeah, the old core goes out. The new one slides right in here. And the nice thing about this lock is that you can just feed what you have here that corresponds in there. So we would begin with this serrated pin right here, and number 6, this one here has a little hole in here. Not sure how that works, but that is some security feature. Same with this one. Just drop them down there like so. Next, put the springs on top. And just to make things just a little bit more easy, because you can see like the springs are sticking pretty far out, I can just remove the key and the pins will drop. So now I don't have as much of spring to work with. Okay, let's get this off to the side. And just put this here on its side. Now inside here there's a plate that limits how much you can turn the key, and that needs to go in here like so. And this here is a crucial part, and I'm very glad that I found this part, because right now if I were to put it in here, you know, press down on the springs and then put it in there, I could still just pull the core out. That is if I get it open first, then I can pull it out. But still, a better feature, or something that is good to have here so that your lock doesn't come apart every time you open it, is to put this little thing here, and that prevents the core from slipping out. It actually just goes into the groove here in the core. So we got that in place. The bottom plate is in there, and we can start to gently put the whole assembly inside here without dumping out all our pins and springs. So now I'll have to push down on the spring and just, actually better to use this finger here. Push down the pin and insert it one at a time. Being careful not to get the spring bound up or pinched. Now when it comes down here, I have to rotate the keyway, and there's actually two ways to do that. You can, because nothing's really retaining it now, so I can spin it 360 degrees, but only one way will get me where I can actually remove the key afterwards. There we go. So now we have to hold the core inside here somehow. So now that everything is assembled and is working properly, there's a little screw that needs to go into the bottom of the where the shackle closes, and which is right here. It looks like previously they had like some sort of thread glue or something like that to hold it in place. I don't have any of that, so I'm just gonna drop it in there and tighten it down. This way, keyways or the core, it's not going to go anywhere. It's stuck in there. So remove the key, lock it. Oh, fairly secure. Put this key in, and it's open. So, from disassembling one of these guys, which are going to end up in the trash, along with this one here, I've replaced the good parts in this into this one, and now I have a working lock, which is pretty strong, but it only has one key, but it has some serious defenses in there. So nobody's getting into this lock unless they have enough time on their hands, and nobody's going to be bothering them. So yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be getting into this thing unless they have the key, because this is some serious pitting on here. And yeah, I mean, what was it? 3 or 4 serrated pins, and the pins inside the keyway were serrated as well, and yeah, very strong lock. So if you find yourself in this situation where you have like a lock that is has been disassembled and destroyed in some people's eyes, think again. And you can if you have the interest and time to actually take a look at what's going on inside, and you find the right kind of core that fits in here. I mean, this is from the same manufacturer. The cores, they're identical, almost identical at least. So yeah, pretty easy fix.